Hey friend, welcome back. This is the Daily Spark. Let's learn something fun today.
I am so ready for this. I am currently running on 3 cups of coffee.
3 cups, that is dangerous territory, Leo.
I need it today. I was up super late last night. I tried to watch this classic movie with subtitles.
Oh no, let me guess. The English was too old?
Yes, it was so complicated and weird. I literally just gave up and went to sleep.
Man, I know that exact feeling. You really want to enjoy a great story, but the language feels like a thick brick wall.
Exactly, it makes you feel kind of dumb, right? Like, why can't I just figure this out?
You are definitely not alone in that. So many learners feel totally scared of older English.
Yeah, they think their English level is just too low.
But that is actually not true at all. It is not about your intelligence or your grammar level. It is just a different rhythm.
Wait, so what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about the ultimate boss of Old English.
Oh no, are we talking about William Shakespeare?
We are, but do not panic. Understanding the world's most famous writer is much easier and more fun than you think.
So let me ask you a question, Leo. Have you ever tried to read a famous English poem or play and thought, I have absolutely no idea what this means?
Literally all the time in high school, I would look at the page and just freeze. My eyes would just cross.
Right? The words look like English, but the sentences just do not make sense.
It feels like trying to read a secret code. Like, why do they say thou instead of you? Just say you. It is so much faster.
I hear you. It can be super frustrating, but think of it like listening to a really thick accent. At first, it just sounds like pure noise.
Oh yeah, like when I visited Scotland. For the first hour, I was just nodding and smiling. I had no clue what anyone was actually saying.
Exactly. But what happened after a few days?
Well, my brain just sort of tuned into it. Suddenly, I could pick up the words.
That's exactly how Shakespeare works. You just need a minute to tune your ear. Once you get the rhythm, the stories are wild.
Wild? Really? I thought they were just boring history.
Not at all. They're full of drama, ghosts, and jokes. It's basically like a modern reality TV show.
Okay, now I'm actually interested. Reality TV from 400 years ago? Sign me up.
See, you just have to look at it differently. He was writing for regular people, not just fancy kings and queens.
That's a huge relief. I'm definitely a regular person.
So today, we're going to break it down. We'll look at the man behind the plays, and we'll find out why we still care about him today.
Well, here is a crazy historical fact for you. Shakespeare has had a massive influence on our culture.
Oh, absolutely. The man changed English forever.
True, but we don't actually know his exact birthday.
Wait, really? I thought it was April 23rd.
Nope, that's just a really good guess. We know he was baptized on April 26th. So historians just assume he was born earlier that week.
That brings us right to our first phrase. The phrase is born on.
This phrase feels very exact. It's precise. You are putting a tiny pin directly on a calendar.
Exactly. You use born in for year or month. Like, I was born in 1990. But born on needs a very specific day.
Like Shakespeare was born on April 23rd.
Even if it's just a historical guess.
Honestly, it's wild to me. People still gather to celebrate a birthday for him.
That's our next phrase today. Celebrate a birthday.
This phrase feels active. It's full of life. Yeah, you're not just getting older. You're actively throwing a party.
We celebrate a birthday to honor someone's life. And people still do this for Shakespeare, even though he lived in a completely different century.
It's amazing to think about the art he managed to create. People still throw parties for a guy from the 1500s. Think about that for a second.
It really shows the true power of his words. So here is your use it tomorrow tip. Next time you chat with a new coworker,
Just ask them, what day were you born on? Or ask, how do you usually celebrate a birthday?
it is a fantastic way to start a conversation.
And it feels very friendly and completely natural.
You think his birthday is a fun mystery to chat about?
The historical rabbit hole actually goes much deeper than that.
Wait, what do you mean?
What else is hiding in the shadows?
Well, did the guy from Stratford actually write all those plays?
Oh, you mean the famous ghostwriter conspiracy.
Exactly. Now, how do we talk about these crazy historical theories? Honestly, I usually just tell people that is totally made up.
See, I disagree completely. Totally made up sounds way too aggressive.
Really? I mean, what would you say instead?
I prefer using our next key phrase for today. I say, some people believe. It leaves the door wide open. Listener, which approach actually sounds better to your ears?
Okay, fair point. Let's break down some people believe. Grammatically, it's a phrase built on pure distance.
Yes, it feels like you're whispering a juicy secret.
Like, some people believe that dogs can actually see ghosts.
Exactly. You're not saying it's an absolute fact. You're just holding up a mirror to the latest gossip.
Think about it. Actors perform his plays all over the world.
They pour so much raw emotion into those famous tragic lines.
His influence on modern storytelling is absolutely undeniable today. But did he write it all? Well, there's no proof.
Oh, that's our next key phrase. There's no proof. How does that phrase actually feel to you, Ryan?
It feels like a detective slamming a heavy folder shut. It just means case closed. We have zero solid evidence.
Exactly. It paints a picture of a total investigative dead end.
You can use it for everyday office mysteries, you know?
I double dare you to try this playfully tomorrow morning.
Tell a coworker, there is no proof I drank the last coffee.
That is the perfect way to defend yourself.
Use these two phrases to handle daily rumors like a pro.
Speaking of rumors, honestly, here is the biggest lie.
That native speakers naturally understand Shakespeare?
Exactly. That's a total myth. We struggle just as much.
Right? When beginners read him, they often say, it is hard for understanding.
Oh no, hard for understanding sounds like a broken robot.
Exactly. The correct and natural phrase is hard to understand.
He did create these stories over 4 centuries ago. The language changed.
So when actors perform them today, the dialogue feels completely alien.
I mean, half the vocabulary doesn't even exist anymore.
Exactly. You sit in the theater totally lost, just nodding along.
Pretending you understand the jokes when everyone else laughs.
You've been there, right?
Oh, definitely. Let's look at the emotional weight of hard to understand.
It's not just a polite way to say difficult.
Right, it feels heavy. It feels like a thick fog in your brain.
It's pure frustration, like when someone tries to explain cryptocurrency to me.
I mean, that's perfectly said. It's just hard to understand.
Which leads to a very funny reality about reading Old English.
We literally have to take his words and translate into modern English.
Yes, even native speakers buy special books for this.
Books with the original text on one side and modern text on the other.
Notice that little word into. We don't say translate to.
Exactly. Translate into feels like a complete physical transformation.
Picture a magic box. You drop old, dusty words inside.
And fresh modern words pop out. You'd translate them into something entirely new.
It is like turning water into ice. It changes forms completely.
Well, here's a practical tip to use these phrases tomorrow.
If a coworker sends you a deeply confusing, messy email,
Just reply and say, "This is a bit hard to understand."
could you please translate this into plain English?
It's polite, funny, and gets the job done perfectly. Even if that messy email is in plain English, the writer honestly owes Shakespeare.
Oh, absolutely. Without his plays, we would be missing so many common terms. I mean, I was playing Scrabble with my older sister just last weekend.
Oh, a dangerous board game in your competitive family.
You know it. She put down this totally fake, ridiculous string of letters. She just really wanted that triple word score to beat me. I looked at her and yelled, "You cannot just invent a word."
But see, that's exactly what Shakespeare did to the English language. He would just invent a word whenever he needed one for a character.
When you use the phrase invent a word, it feels very rebellious. Like you're breaking the dictionary rules to create something brand new.
It's pure creative magic. He literally made up the word eyeball. It's wild to think about.
And the word lonely. He
He needed to describe a sad emotion, so he made it.
Imagine you had that kind of power right now. If you could make up a word for a feeling, what would it be? What emotion would you capture, and what's your new word?
Oh, I would invent a word for needing an iced coffee right this second. I need that daily.
Well, maybe your coffee slang will become part of our everyday language someday.
Our next key phrase, everyday language, feels incredibly warm and comfortable.
It is the complete opposite of strict, boring academic grammar.
Exactly. It just means the normal, casual words regular people use daily. Words like gossip or swagger are literally part of our everyday language now. We owe him a lot.
His influence on how we speak today is honestly unmatched. We speak a little bit of Shakespeare every single day without even realizing it.
So here's a fun way to use these two phrases tomorrow. Listen closely to your friends or coworkers when they're chatting.
If somebody uses a really strange slang term you've never heard before,
You can laugh and ask them, wait, did you just invent a word?
or you can tease them and say, that is definitely not everyday language.
You know what's crazy about using his everyday language?
That we're still doing it today?
Exactly. Actors still perform his plays in the 21st century.
It's wild. People still buy tickets every single night.
But why? Well, let's put you in a scenario.
Picture yourself sitting in a dark, quiet theater.
You're watching a young prince grieving his dead father.
He feels totally lost. He's completely heartbroken and angry.
You suddenly think, wow, I know exactly how that feels.
Your chest tightens. You remember losing someone you loved deeply.
I bet you figured out the perfect phrase for this already.
You relate to the character.
Let's break down how relate to really feels.
It's not just understanding facts on a page.
No way. It feels like looking in a mirror.
Right, it's recognizing your own emotion in someone else.
You're saying, I've walked in your shoes.
You can relate to a song, a book, or a person.
That shared human experience is very powerful.
A stone castle enduring a brutal storm.
The storm is just hundreds of years passing by.
Bad pop songs fade away after one short summer.
But a true masterpiece refuses to fade away.
It stays relevant forever. It stands the test of time.
Even if the stage outfits look completely ridiculous now.
Very true. So here's your practical tip for tomorrow.
Chat with the coworker about an old classic movie.
Ask them if they think it is still good today.
Tell them, I think it really stands the test of time.
Or confess that you still relate to the angry villain.
Hey, we've all been there.
All right, let's gather up all those great words we used today. It is time for the word review.
Let's start with the first one. You might have heard us say influence earlier.
This word feels like a gentle, invisible push. It's not someone forcing you to do something.
Right. It's when a person, or maybe even a book, changes how you think or act in a very natural way.
Imagine your best friend starts waking up early to jog. Suddenly, you want to buy running shoes. That's their influence rubbing off on you.
For your use it tomorrow moment, try complimenting a friend. Tell them your positive attitude is a huge influence on me.
Perfect. Next up, you might have heard us say the word create.
Oh, I love the energy of this word. It feels like staring at a totally blank canvas.
Exactly. It's making something out of absolutely nothing. It's pure magic.
Like taking a boring pile of vegetables and turning it into a delicious warm soup. You created that.
Use it tomorrow at the office or at school. You can suggest, let's create a brand new schedule for this week.
Now, moving on, you might have heard us say perform.
This word definitely has bright, hot stage lights shining right on it.
It really does. It's all about stepping up and showing a special skill to an audience.
Even if that audience is just your dog watching you sing loudly in the kitchen.
Try using it tomorrow. If you're going to a concert, say, I can't wait to see them perform live.
Before we hit our last two words, let's quickly recap a few key phrases.
We talked about how there's no proof feels like a dramatic detective slamming a file shut.
We also discussed the struggle when old text is hard to understand.
Which means we often have to translate into modern language just to make sense of it.
Exactly. Now back to the vocabulary. You might have heard us say century.
This word feels incredibly heavy. It's a massive, dusty block of time, 100 long years.
It feels like holding a fragile black and white photograph of your great-great-grandparents.
For your Use It Tomorrow tip, point out an old church or monument in your town. Just say, that beautiful building has been there for a century.
And finally, you might have heard us say emotion.
This word is a wild storm inside your chest. It's not logical or planned.
No, it's the raw feeling of deep sadness, sudden anger, or pure joy.
It's the sudden tears in your eyes when a movie has a really beautiful ending.
Exactly. Use it tomorrow when you're watching your favorite TV drama. Turn to your friend and say the lead actor poured so much emotion into that speech.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's show. Learning English, is a lot like reading older texts. At first, it feels like a giant, impossible puzzle.
Oh, absolutely. You feel like you are standing outside a locked door. I remember trying to read my first old play in English. I thought, are they even speaking the same language?
Right? But you just have to keep listening. You slowly tune your ear to the rhythm. Remember our promise from earlier today.
Understanding the world's most famous writer is much easier than you think. And it's actually really fun.
Exactly. So what is our challenge for the listeners?
Try using one of Shakespeare's invented words tomorrow.
Yes, just slip swagger or eyeball into your daily conversation. Imagine telling your friend, I'll eyeball that menu.
They'll never even know you're quoting a classic.
Now, we really want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, what is your favorite story or movie about star-crossed lovers?
Two people who are in love, but the universe says no. Oh, that's a good question. I have so many.
Share your answers down below and think about our words influence and emotion while you write.
I can't wait to read the comments.
Next time, that sudden, terrifying panic when someone asks you a simple question, like ordering a coffee and your mind just goes completely blank?
Oh man, all your vocabulary just flies right out the window.
We'll explore exactly what to do when your brain freezes. I have some easy tricks to get your words back.
Oh, I need that episode so badly. I freeze up at the bakery all the time.
It's gonna be a great one. This has been the Daily Spark Radio. See you next time.